Hello everyone, Jeff here with you for episode number 39 of the Wednesday Night Wrestling Blitz here on YouTube. This is a GMTE Express add-on exclusive as we have AEW and NXT going head-to-head once again this week. We'll begin it with AEW. This was their Fight for the Fallen show here on Dynamite this week. This was live from Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Jim Ross, Excalibur, there was no Tony Schiavone on the show. Taz was on commentary with them for the first hour. Chris Jericho would eventually join in the second hour. Tony Schiavone was not on the show. He was kept off as a precautionary measure because the results from his CV-19 test had not come back in time, so they kept him off the show as a precautionary measure. They opened the show with the TNT Championship match. We have Cody Rhodes, of course the TNT Champion, out with Arn Anderson defending that title against Sonny Kiss. This was a good match, I thought. Cody caught a disaster kick early on the Kiss, but he only got a 2 count. We saw Tully Blanchard watching from the stands. They showed him a few times, which seems to be planting some seeds for something I'll talk about here shortly. Of course, Arn Anderson was doing his motivational thing here. Sonny Kiss fought back here. He eventually hit a 450 splash at one point. He actually hit his own version of the Crossroads for near falls. And then Cody Rhodes eventually got control where he hit an Alabama Slam on the outside. But he also showed frustration. He tried to go for a pin after that Alabama Slam, but he did it too close to the ropes, and he was showing some signs of heelish type things here. Cody broke out a vertebreaker for a near fall, and then ultimately we saw Sonny Kiss get going again. Jim Ross was even saying that he was off his game. Cody countered a roll-up into a crossface, and then referee Aubrey Edwards forced him to break it when he showed some more anger there. The top turnbuckle got gotten exposed. Cody was going to put Sonny Kiss into that buckle, but instead Kiss reversed it and sent him face first, and then he got a near fall off of that. Kiss fought off some more, but then Cody was able to hit a crossroads in the end and got the win, as he should have. This was expected that he would retain here. It was a good match. I don't know, it just felt like something was missing from it, but it was fine for what it was. Cody winning was not a surprise. It was expected here. I mentioned about Tully Blanchard. They showed him in the crowd a few times. Clearly, they're setting up for a Cody Rhodes heel turn. They were planting more seeds here, and it would not surprise me. I do think at some point we will get a reformation of the Four Horsemen, and Cody Rhodes is going to lead that heel stable. So, just my thoughts on it. I think that's where they're going down the line. Next match was a tag team match here. We had FTR taking on the Lucha Bros here. Lucha Bros dominated early on, caught FTR off guard. Eventually, FTR took control by slowing the pace down here, and again, they showed Tully Blanchard watching from the stands, so could be something with maybe some of these guys joining the new Four Horsemen group. We'll wait and see. A lot of back and forth action here. We just get down late in the match here. Hartward was able to yank at Phoenix's mask and ultimately in the end scored a cradle, and they got the win here, FTR, as they should have. This was a big win for them. After the match, FTR talked trash with the Butcher and the Blade, who were out by their truck. That's the truck they came in, so they were nearby, and then eventually, a super kick party took place because the Young Bucks snuck up from behind and nailed him, and then Kenny Omega and the Bucks hit the ring, offered beers to FTR. This was kind of a payback from last week. And then eventually we see Hartwood and Wheeler, FTR, of course, they pour the beer over Kenny Omega's head. He did not like that. He wanted to go after him, but the Young Bucks held him back. So maybe a potential heel turn down the line for Kenny Omega. We'll talk about that. We see Chris Jericho. He comes out next with the Inner Circle. They make their way to the ring. He's wasting no time here. He's talking about his victory over Orange Cassidy, and then he's also, celebrating his quote victory in the 18-49 ratings demo, which I don't know why this was brought up on television. He refers to himself now as the Demo God. Oh boy. Anyways, he goes on to say, despite advertisers, fans, and management wanting a rematch, I know I don't want a rematch, Jericho denied it and declared Cassidy's career, quote, dead. Then we see Orange Cassidy comes out. He has this new theme that he came out to here. I'm not a big fan of it, at least early on here. He enters through the stands, and then he does a stare down with the heels. Jericho talks down Cassidy some more until Cassidy gives him a thumbs up into a thumbs down situation. And then they did the deal here where they were all standing in the middle of the ring, and then orange juice spilled from the rafters down into the ring, soaking them all. Jericho's irate because his, quote, $7,000 jacket was ruined. And they also did this stupid deal here. They made Ortiz look like a complete buffoon as he is, swimming in the ring with this orange juice here. Just looked like a complete idiot here. look, this was what it was. I was not a big fan of this segment. Clearly, it was a Tony Khan directive to talk about the 18 to 49 demo because we know him and Jericho have been on Twitter, touting about them winning it in the demo against NXT. So, I'm not a big fan of this. So, and we'll talk more about that here shortly. Six-man tag team action was up next. Here we had the Jungle Express here, of course, that is Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt. They took on the Elite here, that's Kenny Omega and Matt and Nick Jackson here, the Young Bucks. Just some good match. This was very good as you would expect it here. We got babyface teams here, just going at it. All six guys got a chance to shine. Jericho was on commentary as this match had started. He was talking about his rivalry with Omega, and he got on him for wearing a t-shirt, and then Omega eventually tore off the t-shirt not long after that. Just a lot of back and forth action. Luchasaurus at one point rocked Omega with a headbutt, but then he responded with some V-triggers. He dropped him as well with a Snapdragon suplex, did the same to Stunning Jungle Boy. They recovered and then delivered the extinction event to Omega. The Bucks broke up that pin. Jungle Boy then delivered a big Hurricanrana off the top rope and then Stunt hit with a 450 splash for a near fall. Stunt delivered a Destroyer Power Driver off the shoulders of Luchasaurus onto Matt Jackson for a near fall. Omega then delivered some V-triggers to Luchasaurus and Stunt, and then he was able to put away not Marco Stunt, but he was able to put away Jungle Boy, rather, with the One-Winged Angel. Actually, no, it was Marco Stunt. I beg your pardon. It was Marco Stunt. He put him away with the One-Winged Angel. And the Elite got the win here. Not a big surprise. He figured they were winning here. After the match, Omega, I guess, showing some real heel tendencies here. He added some more fist and fire here. He delivered some more right hands to Marco Stunt. The Young Bucks seemed surprised by that. And then eventually Omega stopped, and then he put himself into a corner and was talking to himself. So I wonder where that could be going. Potential heel turn coming down the line from Omega. Of course, he's part of the AEW Tag Team Champions here with Hangman Adam Page. So I think I could definitely see a situation where Omega eventually joins Cody as part of this new Four Horsemen group. Definitely something to be paying attention to going forward. Next match here was more tag team competition, women's action here. We had the Nightmare Sisters, of course, that's Brandy Rose and Ali. Of course, Dustin Rhodes is with them. No QT Marshall. Supposedly, it was revealed on social media that QT Marshall tested positive for CV-19. That's why he's not been at the shows. So we hope he will be recovering and will be back soon. So anyways, Brandy Rhodes and Ali with Dustin Rhodes, they take on MJ Jenkins and Kenzie Page here. Really not a whole lot to say about the match. This was a showcase for the Nightmare Sisters, and they score a very quick win. Ali got the win for her team after she pinned Jenkins with a reverse DDT elbow combination. And then, so they get the win here, a showcase for them. Really not much more to say about the match. And then we get to this big announcement here. We see Dasha Gonzalez. She's in the ring here. She's introducing the former AEW Women's World Champion Nyla Rose here. And we're about to get the reveal as to who her manager is. She teased on last week's program that she was going to be getting a new manager. There was really no question as to who it was going to be. I saw a lot of wild guesses being thrown out on social media. I think most of them were for giggles and laughs and jokes and all that. But it was clearly obvious who the mystery manager was going to be, who the new manager for Nyla Rose is going to be. It was obvious, and sure enough, they went with the obvious choice. It was Vicky Guerrero. She does come out. She did her excuse me thing. And basically, she cut a promo on the women's roster, issuing them a warning, so saying that Nyla Rose is coming back for that AEW Women's title. So, look, it was expected that Vicky Guerrero was going to be the manager. We have seen her on and off on AEW television recently, so not a big surprise here. I saw people saying maybe it'd be Jim Cornette or maybe someone like that. It was obvious it was going to be Vicky Guerrero. And look, Vicky Guerrero's a good heel. Personality here, and I think she's going to obviously play heel because she's aligned with Nyla Rose here. Let's see how it goes. I'm happy to see Vicky Guerrero get this opportunity. Let's see how well it works out for her. Main event of the show here was for the AEW World title. Here we had Jon Moxley back from self-isolation after a scare with CV-19, even though he tested negative. He took on FTW champion Brian Cage. Of course, Taz was out there with them. At one point, we saw Moxley get the Kiermaier armbar into cage. He was able to power out of it and send Moxley into the corner. He followed with a suplex onto the apron. Moxley escaped the drill claw and reapplied the armbar. And then Cage ultimately resisted that action. Then Cage tried to fight out of the hold, but Moxley ultimately, in the end here, was able to shift his weight and maintain control. And then he floated over and he got the hold onto the other arm. And he was obviously trying to work on Cage's big arms, obviously. And, of course, Taz, who's out there, and if you were paying attention, he had the belt, and he also had this towel, which kind of gave away the ending of the match before it began. Taz, I guess, was frustrated and, all frazzled and dazzled as he was watching what was going on there. He ultimately threw in the orange towel, and thus that is a submission. Moxley wins and retains. To no surprise here, it was expected he was going to win here and retain. Afterwards, Brian Cage did hit Moxley with the FTW title, so we knew that would come into play. The lights eventually go out here, and when they came back on, we see Darby Allin. He makes his return here, and he nails Brian Cage with the skateboard to the throat, send him packing. And that's it. So Darby Allin and Moxley are in the ring. They don't do anything to each other, and that's how they go off the air. So clearly it looks like Darby Allin is getting himself involved into the stuff with Moxley and Cage, which is fine. I see no problem with that. So that was it. As for this main event match with Moxley and Cage, it was decent, but I don't know. It just felt like I didn't think this really lived up to the hype. This was pretty much what we expected. It was a decent match for TV. They were hyping this up all throughout the program and for the last several weeks, but I don't know, it just kind of seemed like it missed the mark a little bit. Moxley retaining was no surprise, so that was it. So that was AEW Dynamite, the Fight for the Fallen special that took place from Daily's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Alright, let's get on to NXT. It took place from Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. This was a taped episode from earlier on. Mauro Ranallo and Beth Phoenix were calling the action from their respective homes in California and North Carolina. Tom Phillips was there at Full Sail for this. We get a video package to start off the show here. We see Finn Balor, Gargano, and Damian Priest, among others, congratulating Keith Lee on his win against Adam Cole at Great American Bash, but they made it clear that they would be going after his championship, so we see Keith Lee come out here. He's basking in his own glory as the dual champion, talking about how he's going to do what he's going to do here, and he's ready for any challengers for both the main NXT title or the North American title. He called out Dominik Dijakovic for reasons that are, still puzzled to me. Keith Lee eventually told Dominik Dijakovic, that's easy for me to say, that he talked to William Regal, even though we don't see William Regal on the show here. And he said he would put both of his titles on the line against Dijakovic here later on in the program. So we're going to get another match with Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic. It is what it is, so that's fine, I guess, or whatever. Opening contest on the card here was a rematch with Damian Priest and Cameron Grimes. Grimes tries to get out with an early win. Priest would not allow it. He goes after Priest here and all that kind of stuff. At one point, Priest had hit some kicks. He hit this big razor's edge on the apron. Cameron Grimes fought back. He kept the pace high for a while. Ultimately, in the end, Priest ducked a diving Grimes late in the match, sent him into the ropes, and this set up a Cyclone Kick and then a second rope reckoning for the win. So Damian Priest gets his win back against Cameron Grimes. Afterwards, he promised that he was coming for the winner of Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic. So we'll see what's going to happen as far as that action goes going forward. Next match on the card was Shotzi Blackheart taking on Indy Hartwell here. Indy Hartwell went after Shotzi Blackheart early on. She beat her down, and then Blackheart got back up, and then she got her stuff in. She hit a senton at one point. Then we see the poor man's Tony Khan, Robert Stone. He arrived coming down here for a distraction. He was in this walking boot. Clearly, he was faking here. Aaliyah had come out to knock Blackheart off the top of him and allow Indy Hartwell to actually hit a big boot, and she actually gets a surprise win here against Shotzi Blackheart. I did not see that happening. So maybe it looks like Indy Hartwell could be joining the Robert Stone brand. We'll have to wait and see. But clearly the poor man's Tony Khan is doing things here. And we'll see if Indy Hartwell is going to be the next client to join Robert Stone's brand. We got a video package that was shown for Legado del Fantasma, who celebrated their NXT Great American Bash win at home. They promised to change the perception of Lucha Libre forever. So we'll see where that goes from here. So we get that Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic match here. This was a good match. It was fine. I mean, it's stuff we've seen from these guys before. So basically, both guys showing off their power was the main focus as they chopped and body blocked each other. And eventually, we see the Limitless One not ready for Dajovic's second level. The challenger pulled out a big blockbuster at one point for a near fall. Dajovic then jumped right into the winning hands of Keith Lee, who slammed the challenger down with a big bang catastrophe and got the win. So Keith Lee retaining here, not a big surprise. And then they hugged afterwards. The lights went out, and then we see Scarlett Bordeaux. She comes down the ramp here. She sat on the mat, and then the shattered remains of the hourglass was shown here. So clearly, it looks like something's going to be happening. We'll see what that's going to be. So we go backstage. We see Dijakovic confronting Killer Kross here, and then ultimately Karrion Kross, ultimately laid out Dominic Dijakovic backstage. So looks like they could be setting up something here with Kross and Dijakovic. We'll have to wait and see. That could be pretty good. So we'll see where that goes from here. Next match on the card here was Timothy Thatcher taking on Denzel DeJohnette. Again, this was another one of Thatcher's Thatch Can things going on here. Thatcher, he tortured him for a while here. Got him into a Fujiwara armbar after a tap out here. Only Lorcan came out to make the save here. DeJohnette surprisingly, he looked good early on. He got some offense in, but Thatcher, of course, locked in a devastating half crab at one point. That was how he got the win. Then he put in the armbar afterwards. Only Lorcan came out to make the save. And then he wanted to do more damage, but Lorcan eventually sent him packing once he came out to make that save. So it looks like they could be setting up something with Lorcan and Thatcher. We'll see where that goes. But Denzel DeJohnette, at least he got a chance to be on the show here. Thatcher getting the win was no surprise. Main event time here. This was for the NXT Women's title. We had Io Shirai taking on Tegan Nox here. Tegan Nox had won a elimination match to earn this opportunity here. The match, this was a very good match. I thought this was the best thing on the entire show here. Io Shirai just showed her will here against Tegan Nox early on. Tegan Nox, kept fighting and fighting. And then the challenger finally turned the match around by avoiding running knees by Io Shirai, sent Shirai into steel steps. This allowed Tegan Nox to trap Shirai into the tree of woe, and then she hit the cannonboard, the big senton thing in the corner there. A big crossbody from Nox set up for a chokeslam, which only gave her a near fall. Then Shirai pushed through her knee pain, and she hit a tiger feint kick into a diving drop kick. She could not capitalize on that. Nox ultimately got very close. She hit a facebuster and actually hit a Molly Garel, which they wanted you to think would be the finish here. Io Shirai was able to kick out. And then, she went for the shiniest wizard, Nox did, but she blocked it, and then she hit a palm strike, and then connected with a moonsault and got the win here. So, Io Shirai successfully retains against Tegan Nox. This was a very good match, easily the best match on the entire show, in my opinion. We see Io Shirai celebrating up on the stage, and then Dakota Kai came out from behind and laid her out. So, looks like they could be setting up Dakota Kai and Io Shirai for the next challenge here. So, that could be pretty good. No sign of Raquel Gonzalez here as well. And hopefully she does not get involved in this going forward. I'm sure many of you all know by now that Tegan Nox came out on social media and announced to everyone that she's in a relationship with a woman. Congratulations to her for having the courage to step forward. I think that's fine for her, and that's great. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. Now, and of course, predictably, I saw people on social media say she didn't win the match because she came out, which is a bunch of bullcrap. That's had nothing to do with that. Io Shirai winning here was the right play here. Tegan Nox will get an opportunity to be the champion at one point, but this was not the time here. So, people obviously just not think with their brains by making remarks like that, and that's why she lost the match. That was bullcrap. Io Shirai winning made sense here, so that's it. That was NXT that took place from Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. Let's get on to the numbers here. Of course, AEW was looking to end their 3-week skid against NXT in total viewership. Well, they did do that. They ended their 3-week skid here by winning in total viewers and also in the demo. AEW's Fight for the Fallen won the night with 788,000 viewers, which was up 10% from last week. NXT did just 631,000 viewers, down 17% from last week. So AEW Dynamite's Fight for the Fallen won by 25% in total viewership. This was the second best number that AEW Dynamite has drawn since April, only behind the 827,000 viewers they did on the May 27th post-Double or Nothing episode, which featured an appearance by Mike Tyson. For NXT, it was their lowest number since the May 13th episode, and then they've been averaging roughly 730,000 viewers in June, so their lowest since May 13th. AEW did win in the 18-49 demo. They did a 0.29 rating, which was up about 4% from last week, and NXT did a 0.14 rating, which fell 30% from last week, which enabled Dynamite to win by 107% in the number. It was their largest gap in the demo since the March 25th episode. Dynamite came in number 5 for the night in the 18-49 demo, while NXT came in 49th. In the 18-49 demo, Dynamite was tied with two other episodes for their second best ranking since April here. For NXT, it was their second worst number of the year in the demo for the full year, only beating the May 20th episode, which did a 0.13 rating. AEW won all the demos this week except 50 plus, which NXT won, which is typical. So MTV's Challenge topped the night in the 18-49 demo with a 0.56 rating that did 977,000 viewers. Sean Hannity's show on Fox News Channel topped the night in viewership with 3.734 million viewers, coming in fourth for the night in the 18-49 demo with a 0.31 rating. It's time for my pick of the week here, and this week it was obvious. My pick of the week this week is AEW. Look, they stacked their card up here for Fight for the Fallen. I thought their card was much better than what NXT had. NXT looked like they were starting to build again. AEW, I feel this was kind of a wake-up call for them. I felt, even though Tony Khan and Chris Jericho have been coming on social media praising that they've been winning in the 18-49 demo, I think they got a little worried that they lost to NXT 3 weeks in a row in viewership, so they really stacked this card. Look, it was no surprise they were going to win here. They needed to get back on track here, and I thought AEW was the better show overall. For NXT, I mean, it wasn't terrible. You know, I liked the women's main event match with Io Shirai and Tegan Nox, but the rest of the show, I don't know, it just kind of felt like they were just in neutral for the most part. I thought AEW, while it was not a perfect show, was much better as far as their actions. So AEW is my pick of the week. So through 39 episodes, I have NXT with 22 picks and AEW with 17 picks. Let me know down in the comment section below what your favorite moment from Wednesday's wrestling action is, and we'll see you the next time with the next Wednesday Night Wrestling Blitz here on YouTube. Bye for now, everyone.